Hi everyone, I'm Laura from gosimpli.ca, and today we are going to do a Pilates circle or magic ring or whatever you want to call it workout. So if you're interested in finding out what having a Pilates ring is all about, or if you have one and you love using them, give me a thumbs up and let's get right into the workout. Okay, now Pilates is a pretty gentle exercise form. It can be intense, but it's pretty gentle on the body. We're still going to start with a bit of a warm-up. So if you have your Pilates ring, just put it off to the side. And we're just going to start with a little bit of, opening up the body. So let's start with a few shoulder rolls here to the back. Just a couple more, and let's bring a few to the front. Okay, and let's just do a few head nods to the side. So bringing that ear to the shoulder. And then let's put the chin to the chest and look up to the ceiling. Chin to chest, ceiling, and then left and right, left and right. And then let's twist a little with the arm. And then the other, just reaching across, just gentle. We're going to do some upper body and a little bit of lower body, so we'll do a little bit of lower body opening as well, and then reach overhead. That's great. Just a couple more. And then let's scooch to the front of our chair and let's just open the hip out. And then bring it back, and we'll do the same leg a few times. Pull in that belly button, and you'll feel your core working. That's great. And now let's do the other leg. And pull it in and out a few times. So we're going to do all of these moves sitting down. Okay, and now let's just kick a leg straight out in front and bring it back down, and then the other leg straight out in front. So you're just straightening that leg out. Just a couple more. Hopefully you can still see my feet on the screen here. I'm looking in the camera. I think you can see them. I hope you can see them. And just one more here. And then let's just do a high knee raise. If you can sort of pull or, use one hand to support. And then switch. We don't need to do this fast. We're just letting our hips know that we're going to be using them a little bit today. And let's do one more each side. It's just a little bit to get the body sort of ready for the day. Perfect. So the Pilates ring, some of them are made of a very durable plastic. This one's made of metal, so you may not always be able to see how much you're pushing on it, but it has little foam handles on the outside and little foam handles on the inside, and that's where we're going to press either our arms, hands, or legs, knees, ankles, whatever we happen to be working on. So the first thing we're going to start with, as we still continue to get our body ready, is we're just going to hold it out in front of us, and we're going to lift it over our head. And then we're going to tip slightly to the one side, slightly to the other side, and then bring it back down in front. So as you get used to the motion, so again, we're doing it very fluid, and back down in front. I want you to open up your palms and just push, just slightly, so that you can feel your whole arm tense, and then bring it back down. And now you've engaged your biceps, the triceps, the chest, and of course the shoulders, getting all this movement as we rotate. Okay? So it's that little bit of a push. And again, you might not even be able to see that my circle has been squished, but you will feel it. And again, you can do all of these moves without a Pilates ring if you don't have one. Other options would be to use a very light set of hand weights, or if you had a TheraBand, so we'll do one more here, which is the long band, or even a loop band. You could put a loop band around your wrists and do these same moves. You could do most of these with a loop band. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to turn sideways to show you here. Again, we're going to push in just slightly. We're going to pull it into our chest. And so as you can pull in, you'll see I'll be able to squeeze it more and then push back out. And then in and give it a push and back out. And in and give it a push and back out. In and push and back out. In and push and back out. In and out. Let's do 2 more. That's great. So we're not using a timer today. I'm just going to try and remember about how many reps we're doing. Excellent job. And now just for a little more shoulder rotation, let's now rest it on your knees. Put our arms on the inside and you're going to push out. So this you could definitely do with a band. So push out the whole time and I want you to rotate like you're driving a car. Okay, but keep pushing out. We don't want the ring to fall. And make sure that your abdominals are held in tight. You'll be able to feel your abdominals as you do this. Okay, so really get those shoulders working. Whew, this is a hard one. I find this one very challenging. Okay, let's do 1 more each direction. And then let's bring it straight down and rest, and then we can take our hands out. Now we're going to do something that's a little bit for our abdominals. So you can rest it on both knees at the front, and you're going to take your hands out in front, and you'll see it's a little bouncy. So what we're going to do, I'll show you from the side, is you're just going to push down and then let it come back up. And you'll notice my back isn't really moving. It's moving maybe a smidgen, but I'm just pushing down with the arms. I have that rib to hip connection. So as I push down, there's a slight crunching forward. I have that belly button pulled in tight to the spine, and those abdominals should really be feeling this. If you have it held in tight, every time you push down and you push and you just hold and then let it back up. So let's actually count that out. Let's count 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, release. So just keep that going with the 3 count when you push down and really give those abdominals a nice little burn. Oh, that's great. And we don't have to get down on the floor and do crunches, which is always a bonus. I don't like doing crunches. I don't think they are at all necessary to have a strong core. Okay, let's do 2 more. And last one. Okay, excellent. Now let's try a little bit of leg work. So let's open up our legs nice and wide, and we're going to put those 2 pads right between, not right on the knee, just up about, maybe 2 inches up, 1.5 inches. And all we're going to do is squeeze it and hold again. 1, 2, 3. And let it back out. You're going to feel those abdominals again. They are always involved in using the ring. So 1, 2, 3, and release. And this is like a super clamshell. I know we get down on the side and we do our, like lying on our side and we do some clamshells. This is like a super clamshell. Okay, and your circle might squish more, depends what kind of material it's made out of. If it's like a really firm plastic, a more flexible plastic, they even have different sort of sizes and options as to how much they are. This one is metal, so it's very, it's hard to squeeze it in, so. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple more here, and remember, we're bringing it in and we're holding it for 3. So 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more. Did I already say that? Well, we're going to do 2 more again. And here's our last one. Perfect. Now, see if you can get your legs on the inside of your ring and pull them up again to just about the same spot, but now the pad is on the outside, and we're going to push our legs out, which is great for hip strength. Okay, so we're going to really push out and hold 1, 2, 3, and then just release. 1, 2, 3, and release. So those of you who have SI joint pain, this may be a wonderful exercise for you. It may not, but it totally, once I started really building the gluteus medius, so the side of our glute muscles, this exercise really targets that, and that's when I finally started to feel some relief in that SI joint. So if you're someone who has that, this might work for you. Again, you've got to try it and see what works for you. Okay, so remember we're holding out for 3, but if it is, it might be something that really helps to build hip stability, which is often what causes SI joint pain, is not having a very stable pelvic girdle. So this might really help you. So really push out, like really push, as much as you can push. Okay, great job. Let's do 2 more. And again, it's holding 1, 2, 3, and here comes the last one. 1, 2, 3. Great job. So let's move this down to the ankles. And I don't know if I can do this, but we're going to try. So we're going to take one leg just slightly off the ground. It's off the ground by about 1 inch, and then push out and then let it come down, and pick up the other leg slightly and push out and let it come down. So you're sort of doing this slow march, and then you push out to the side. And it's not, again, you have to have that core really, really tight. And we're really giving our knees a workout here. Okay, we're working on knee stability. Let's go a couple more. And we're still working that hip stability as well. But now it's further away from the hip, so there's more pressure on the knee than there is on the hip. Let's do 2 more each side. So I'm on my left. And again, we're just holding for 3 and then putting the foot down and then going to the other side. And now 1 more each side. And then the other side. Okay, and now let's let that come down so we can take our feet out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loop it under 1 foot. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn slightly here so that you can see. I'm going to lift my leg and I'm going to push out and straighten my leg and then let it bend. And I'm going to push out and straighten and let it bend. So I'm getting a bit of a stretch in my hamstring. And I'm also getting a little bit of hamstring work when I push. Okay. And of course, we're going to have to do the other leg. But we're getting a good upper back stretch as well, and we need to keep our back straight. If you can't get your leg totally straight, that is fine. If you see me looking funny off to the side, I have a set of mirrors now in my workout room off to the side, which is great because I can make sure that my posture is where it should be, because I do have osteoporosis of the spine, so I need to be very cognizant of that. Okay, and let's get that under the other leg. And again, lift it up. And we're going to push out and back in. Now, if you can't, I should have shown you this earlier, but if you can't lift your leg up, I want you to put it on the ground and push your toe down and then let it come back up, okay? Which is not going to work the hamstring the way we were before, but it is going to really get that calf nicely. So it's definitely a good option. It'll get a little bit of the hamstring, but mostly it's going to get more calf, okay? But that's an excellent option. Just giving you another option, because you do have to have pretty good balance to do this. And again, if you didn't have a magic circle, you can just be doing this, okay, and putting the leg in and out. It's important for our hip flexor to be able to raise our leg. Excellent. And then we are going to do 1 leg at a time. So bring it back up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift the leg up and push down at the same time. So I'm going to lift and push down on it and then let it go back down. So we're really working the hip flexor, we're really working the glute, and we're really working the abdominals. So we're just going to do 5 on each side because this is quite intense. So I think that's number 3, maybe. So this is 4, and then 5, and we're going to switch into the other side. So the abdominals are doing 10, right? We're going to go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Excellent job. Now let's bring it back up to the upper body for a tiny bit. We already did some squeezes in close. Let's try and do some squeezing out far. Okay, so we're gonna have to work a little harder. So let's push it in, 2, 3, and let it out. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3. Just a couple more. And again, everything's held nice and firm with excellent posture. That's great. Okay, and last one. And now we're going to rest it on our knees, but we're going to still use our arms. I'm going to put my right hand on the bottom. I'm going to put my left hand inside and pushing up, and we're going to push the ring apart that way. So my bottom hand is going to push down, my top hand is going to push up. So, and again, just hold for 3. 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, and release. And we're going to have to switch this around. So again, we're just going to do 5. And I think this is number 4. So last one on this side. And then let's switch it up. So the arm on the bottom, and the other arm up top. And again, push apart. 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3. This is number 3. And here comes number 4. And number 5. Excellent. So let's go back to that exercise we did at the beginning, just to give our core a little bit more bending. And this time we're going to do a slight twist in it, and then we'll do a bit of a cool down. So again, we're going to go up above our head. And this time let's twist and twist. And bring it back and down. And try and just put a light squeeze on it. And twist and twist. So I'm not leaning, I'm simply rotating on the axis of my spine. And twist and twist. I'm not going more than is comfortable for my spine to twist. And twist. And you might not be able to twist very far, that's okay. As you have more flexibility, you might be able to twist more and maybe not, and that's okay. And down, and let's do 2 more. And 1, and 2, and back. And here's our last one. And back. Excellent job. So let's put that down on the ground. I'm just going to let mine fall. And let's just do a little bit of cooling down. So let's roll those shoulders. Now when I do, you know, sort of these Pilates or yoga ones, I don't tend to chat as much because I have to sort of direct a little bit more. There's no timer. But these exercises are really, really good. They're really functional. They keep our joints lubricated. They keep our smaller muscle groups really working well. Okay, let's just push our arms out in front, and then let's raise them up and bring them down and raise them up. And it's also, it's really good for those days when you don't have a ton of energy, but you still have some and you want to do something, or it's your like recovery day or your rest day, and so you're not lifting heavy weights, you're not doing you know, high heart rate, high cardio things. Okay, let's let our arms come down. Let's grasp them in behind and give them a little pull behind and get that chest stretched out. And it's good. It's good to do different forms of movement. It's also good, say you just finished a weightlifting workout and you want just a little bit to sort of get those finer muscles tuned and sort of stretch out a little bit at the same time. Okay, that's great. Let's bring it back to the front. I have an itch. Let's do some wrist circles. And the other way. And back the other way again. And reverse it. And then let's do a few ankle circles on one leg. And, you know, circle the other way as well. Just do a few in one direction and then in the other. So yeah, you could use it sort of as a finisher, or maybe you did some cardio and now you want to get just a little bit of muscle. So I just switched legs here to get ankle rolls on the other side. Okay, so any of that. And then let's just like sort of open and give a little push and then help them come back together and push them out and bring them back in. Excellent job. Just give those hips just a little bit of movement without too much pressure on them. Excellent job. So if there's anything else that you need to stretch out, maybe your neck a little bit, I'm going to do a couple of neck things here just before I say goodbye. So ear to shoulder, and then chin to chest, and ceiling. And then looking left and right, or I guess it's opposite for you, it's probably right and then left. Great job. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was a lot of fun. Give me a thumbs up if you like doing Pilates and or yoga in a chair format so I know to make more. Share this with a friend, and I'm really glad that we got to hang out together today. Hope to see you soon.